Hello and welcome to the Confident Prosperity interview series. Here at Confident Prosperity, our goal is your success because we believe you have the skills, knowledge, and experience to make a real difference in the world. We support women in business who have a passion to serve others, whether this be through coaching, healing, counseling, or other methods. We help you craft a message that resonates with your ideal clients, build lists of buyers, and enroll clients. This interview series is our way to spotlight successful women business owners, helping them to share ideas and tips from their own success journey that may help you too. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Grace Gravestock. Grace is a professional change manager turned personal transformation coach. Grace helps women in midlife transition consciously and intentionally create a life they actually want to live. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. When her perfect on the outside life was shattered by a divorce, layoff, downsizing, and health crisis in a short period of time, she realized that the missing component in her change management practice was energy and frequency. Human design has helped her realize she's not broken. She's perfect the way she is, and is perfectly designed to be and do exactly what she's here to be and do, just like you are. Leading by example, she happily lives on purpose based on her energy blueprint. A dynamic speaker and trainer, change catalyst, and podcast host, Grace is here to connect, motivate, and inspire people by the 2025 through the Know Yourself revolution. Grace, welcome.
Thank you so much, Carrie. It's such a pleasure to be with you.
Awesome. So to get us started, can you tell us what made you focus on midlife transitions for your business?
Yes, that's a great question, Carrie. And so if you're listening and you're an entrepreneur, you will appreciate this clarity. So after a long time of trying to figure out my ideal clients and niche and all that stuff, which you'll have had the same, probably similar experience if you've been in this space for a while, what I realized is that I am best able to serve the people who are going through the things that I've been through already, and they can see that I've come out the other side. So I decided to help women in midlife transition because I am a woman who has been in midlife transition and I navigated it. And so I navigated it, came out the other side, and have a joy-filled life now because I stuck with it. And it's so easy when we are women in midlife transition to give up. And I almost gave up, and I didn't, and I'm so glad I didn't. And my message to you today is don't give up, stick with it. And if you're curious about where your niche should be, I'm going to say there's obviously indications in your human design, which we could talk about. And at the end of the day, your best bet is to help people who are going through what you've just been through, perhaps, or have been through and successfully navigated in the past, because those are the people you're going to best both resonate with, and your message is going to resonate best with.
Absolutely. I love what you've just said there, Grace. And I particularly love that you recognize that to be successful in business, you kind of need to be more of you rather than trying to be somebody that you're not, or somebody that you think you should be, putting that mask on, to kind of take that off and be raw and connect with people that have been through the same or similar experiences to that which you've been through. Because at the end of the day, that's how we connect the best with people that are going through what we've been through. So I absolutely love that you've recognized that. The other point that I just want to pick up from what you've just said is not giving up. How many of us have got close to that point of giving up? So Grace, what made you keep going?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was really close to completely giving up on everything on life and everything else at one point. I was going through the divorce. The ex put a knife to my neck. It was very dramatic. I had to leave in a hurry. It was very unexpected. all of a sudden I found myself, instead of the brand new home that was like the pinnacle of what represented for me the pinnacle of my success. I had been wanting to buy a home of my own and my own car, for years. And I finally got to that place. And it was right after that place that everything fell apart. And so in a very short period, going through all that transition really made me feel very unstable in terms of what my life was about and who I am here for and what I'm doing. Because I thought I had invested so many years. I was married for almost 15 years. I would have been 15 years. I thought I had invested, in a lifelong relationship. I thought that, gosh, there's so many things that I thought, and it turns out that many of those things that I thought were actually not real. The ex had been anyway, he had been doing things that I didn't know he was doing, and we were living a life that was very different than the one I thought we were living. So, all in a short period of time, everything felt like it was on its head, and I thought I've given all my life to build this thing. And then I looked, it's kind of like those cartoons where you see the person has put their ladder on the side of a wall and they get up to the top and they realize they're on the wrong building. That's what it felt like for me. So, yeah, I was almost ready to give up. And you said, why didn't I? Or what was the reason that
How
I was
did you keep going? Yeah.
Yeah, I kept going. I was really lucky. I landed in the home of a couple. They were both coaches, um, and it was, I remember standing in the kitchen. I remember waking up that morning and just crying my eyes out. I walked into the kitchen, and my friend's partner said to me, how are you doing? I couldn't even talk. I was crying so hard, and he said to me, I remember he looked me in the eyes and he said, Grace, you have a choice. You can either let this define you and overcome you, or you can choose to be the overcomer. And it was in that moment that I made a decision to stay, because I realized, why should I give someone else the power over me to determine that I'm done? Like, it's just didn't, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I was pretty upset, and I wasn't going to give him that. And so I decided, perhaps for the wrong reasons initially, I am going to stick with it. And it was once I decided that I am going to stick with it, that I feel like the universe or God opened a door for me to be able to see proof of what I had just decided, which was when I got this reading, my human design reading, and I listened to the recording for the third time. It was only on the third listen that I heard this voice, and the voice said, "You're not broken. You're perfect the way you are. You're perfectly designed to be and do what you came here to be and do." And it was really at that point when I realized, oh, maybe there is a reason for all of this, that I had the fortitude to keep going, because at that point I was still, I don't want to say on the fence, but I was like, what did I just work all my life for? Like 16-hour days for decades, it feels like. What was I working for? Everything I thought I was building was not what I thought it was. So what is this life about anyway? But once I learned about my configuration, I started to realize that life happens for us and not to us. And that was what kept me going once I realized that, Carrie.
That's an amazing realization to have. Life happens for us, not to us. That's really stepping into your power and really taking hold of your life. So, what happened next? How did you then, with that realization, how did you then move into and become the person that you are today?
Yeah, it's a great question. Really, I thought that I knew all about change because I had worked for some of the biggest companies with some of the smartest people in the world. I thought I had learned, all these things, and I'd had big name clients. And so I thought I knew all about it. And I thought, for sure, since I'm going through this personal change, if I just apply these things that I've been selling to my corporate clients for corporate change, surely they will work, for personal change too. But as I tried them out, I realized that there was something there, something missing. And as I searched, I realized it was energy and frequency, and nobody talks about that. And so as I explored that, it really helped me get to a different place in my own personal development, because I realized that it's all of life, and success isn't just what we have up here. It's about our heart, it's about our intention, it's about so much more. And it was only when I started developing myself in looking into energy and frequency and realizing that that was the missing component. That's really what led me down a path that was different than my peers. And so instead of going back to corporate to do more change management projects, I decided to build out a coaching practice to share this amazing revelation that I had, with the world, that, because I know not everybody feels like they're broken, but I've met quite a few people that have been told by partners, by parents, by friends, whatever, that they're messed up or that they're broken. And so I felt like I had almost an obligation to share this information with the world, to say, like, if you think you're broken, like, I've got great news for you, because you're not. And I can even prove it to you. I can show you. And for me, being a very analytical person, I needed to see the configuration. I needed to see the image and all, and I needed to deep dive into the all the details about understanding what it said about me and why. And as I did that, I just thought, wow, I want everybody to know this, because if you know that you're perfect the way you are and you're perfectly designed to be and do what you came here to be and do, you can start to see your life through a different lens. And then instead of seeing the challenges that come up as like, oh, life is hard, or, life is meant to be frustrating, you start to see that life happens for you. And all of these things are just opportunities to help you get to where you're meant to go, which isn't a destination, it's actually a journey.
Beautiful. I love that so much, Grace. And I love this, your realization and recognition of this energy, the importance of energy and frequencies. Because as they say, like attracts like, right? So if we're sending out energy and vibrating at a frequency that doesn't match what we're seeking, then it's a mismatch, it's a misalignment, and the two are never going to come together. So I absolutely love that. I must ask, because I think some of the viewers that will be watching this might not be fully aware what the human design movement is all about. So I wonder if you could share a little bit about what human design is and how it can help people find clarity.
Absolutely. Yeah. So your human design is, if you think about yourself as like, let's say you're a Wi-Fi signal. If you were a Wi-Fi signal, what would you look like? Well, if you do a human design chart, what you'll see is actually your human design, which represents all the things that you're broadcasting and all the things that you're picking up at any given time. And that is profound, because when you realize that, first of all, when you realize that I am, we are energy and we are frequency, and we're always broadcasting, we're always receiving. And when we understand what that is and what we're going to attract, it all of a sudden explains so much about why we attract certain people, why we attract certain situations over and over and over. So this system is based on 7 ancient systems, actually: Eastern, Western, and Vedic astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Judaic Kabbalah, quantum physics, and the Hindu Brahman chakra system, all rolled into one. And so it has become the most detailed and specific, personally specific personality assessment tool available, because it draws on all these systems, which in and of themselves have been used for that purpose and for many other purposes for many, many years, thousands of years, and they are used because they work. And so now when you combine all these systems into a single system, wow, you have just this powerhouse way of knowing. Not just, it's kind of like the plot lines. If your life was a play, what are the plot lines? And this shows you kind of what you're here to master, what you're here to learn, how you're configured, how you're meant to make decisions, what your purpose in life is, all these things. And so that is just like, I didn't even know there was such a thing before I found this. Like, what if we all wondered, like, I wish I had an owner's manual, for this body or this life. Like, wouldn't that be great? Well, guess what? We have it, and it's called a human design chart.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. And you mentioned there about purpose and the importance of us understanding our purpose, because so many people struggle and feel, I have a lot of clients who come to me feeling stuck and they just don't know what direction to go in. So I'm curious what your view is as to why right now, at this moment in time, it's so important for people to discover and align with their true purpose. What are your thoughts on that?
It's time because, well, first of all, from an energetic perspective, human design offers this great way of understanding large chunks of history. So for the last 450 years, we've had what they call background frequencies that essentially support sameness. It's the reason why we've all grown up and thought we needed to fill in the blanks, get a certain degree or a certain job, 2.4 kids, a white picket fence,
Look
whatever
a
it is.
certain way. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is that you've picked that up, like we've all felt like we needed to fit into a box. And why is that? It's because there was well, there's lots of reasons. One of the reasons is there's background frequencies that have been supporting that, what I call sameness, for 450 years. And so why is it important right now to understand your purpose? It's because those background frequencies are changing. So let's just say if they're represented as, like, let's just say, like a Wi-Fi signal in a house. That signal is changing. So I'm representing it as it's falling. And there's another one that's being, it's kind of like when you change your, when you have to reset your router or something on your computer, it's like the energy stops and then it starts again. And that's we're in the cusp of that right now. And so according to human design, there's a prophecy that in 2027, we will be firmly, embedded into a new background frequency, and that background frequency supports all of us in being uniquely different. It's called the science of differentiation, human design is, and the background frequencies that are starting to emerge, I'll say, the ones that are starting to become more predominant, and you can see this in the world when you look around, are the frequencies that support differentiation. And so in order for us to thrive going forward, what's required is something different than what's been required in the past, because the frequencies have changed. They're changing. And what is supported is being your unique self, and it's no longer as supported to fit in a box. And that's the reason why when you look around, everybody seems to be wanting to, to do their own thing, and a lot of people they're no longer happy to just fit into a box, or just do what their parents told them. Just get a job, retire at a certain time and go, live your golden years doing what you love. No, people want to do what they love now. And there's a reason for that. Those background frequencies are supporting us in stepping into our purpose. And so a lot of people feel that pull energetically, like to want to know their purpose, but they don't know what it is. So this tool, this amazing system helps you to know what's in your soul's blueprint. So what you're here to master, what you're here to learn. It explains so much. So anyway, that's a lot to say. This is very powerful. And so if it resonates with you, we've got an offer for you that's free. So we'll get to that.
Beautiful. We absolutely will get to that. And how exciting is that? What we've all got to look forward to, that everyone can remove these masks that many have put on over the years and really step into their true selves. Just fantastic. If somebody is feeling lost or stuck, what would be the first thing that you would tell them to do?
I would tell them, I tell them to get their purpose report so they know how they're configured. I'll tell you this that applies to 70% of people without even looking at your report. Here's what you can know. 70% of people are configured in such a way that you know that you're on track when you feel satisfied. And when you're not on track, you feel frustrated. So I've met so many people in my life that thought that life was frustrating. But what if the reason they felt so much frustration is they were trying to live someone else's life, as I was trying to do in my marriage? I thought one thing, but I was actually doing another. And it turns out I was living someone else's vision for my life, not even living my own life. And that's why I was going to work every day, crying all the way to work and all the way home. I'd get on the plane and I would just bawl my eyes out when I got there, and I'd put on my makeup in the bathroom because, I felt so much frustration with my life. And it turns out that was an indication that I was off track. And so once you know that, so you said, what would I say to anyone? Once you know that you're not meant to be in frustration, it's kind of like, um, most people that have driven, there's the bumps on the side of the road, right, that keep you in the lane. So you hit those bumps, bum, 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 and you know that you could drive there. That's like frustration in your life. So next time you have frustration in any of your area of your life, I want to encourage you to ask yourself, what is out of balance here? What can I shift? Because that is telling you, that frustration is telling you that there's something not right and you're not on your path. And by contrast, and this applies, like I said, 70% of people, when you're in satisfaction, when you feel satisfied with a job well done, with cleaning, you've just cleaned your desk and it's like finally feels so good that everything is clear. It's satisfying in your gut. You feel it. That's what you can know, is that there are key signs that we all have depending on how we're configured, and they tell us if we're on track or not. And this system just makes it crystal clear. A lot of people can feel it in their body anyway, and then there's plenty of people like me that were disconnected from their body for so many years, and this is a tool that can really help reconnect you with your truth.
Beautiful. I love that so much. And it's interesting you saying about if you clear your desk. I'll just quickly share that we're selling our house at the moment. So we've been through a massive decluttering, and my desk was not the tidiest. And I cleared it and cleaned it all up. And oh my gosh, it felt so good. So it's good to know that I was in alignment and on the right track. It sounds very much as if it's kind of like an internal compass that we all have that guides us. And if we're feeling that frustration or other negative emotions, anger, whatever, that's the time, as you say, to step back and go, okay, what's out of balance? And when we feel good and we feel satisfied, then we know we're in alignment and moving forward. I love that. That's just so simple and practical that anybody can apply all the time. I'm curious, though, what you think the biggest mistakes people make when they're trying to create that more aligned and fulfilling life.
Mm. Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes that people are making is they're following the wrong strategy. So, for example, most people have heard the Nike commercial, just do it, right? And so they think, well, Nike, they want to be associated with such a popular brand, and it's so attractive, and all those athletes that are just winning in life. And so they think, well, Nike says just do it, so why don't I just go do it? Well, here's the problem. Only 8% of people are configured to be able to initiate. So just doing it means just go and do it. And that's initiation. And that initiating strategy is not going to work for most people. And so the answer to what are most people doing wrong is they're following a strategy that's not correct for them. And so if you're trying to initiate, for most people, that's not going to work. And the majority of people need, for instance, something to respond to. So that's different. And that's based on how your energy field works. So when you set your intention, what it does is it literally programs your field, your energetic field, so that you attract to you. And this has been proven by science. We have what's called a magnetic monopole in our, in our center, in our body. And that magnetic monopole attracts to us the things that are aligned for us. What makes them aligned? Well, if we focus on them, it basically programs the field and says, hey, send me all the things that are resonating on this frequency, whatever it is that I'm talking about all the time. So it's the reason why that we all know someone like this. They talk about their problems on and on and on, and they just keep getting more of those problems, right? It's because of this principle, and it's amazing, and it's so simple, and it works.
Beautiful. We always get more of what we focus on. Hey, and
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier, you mentioned a couple of times this human design assessment, and I believe you've got a gift for everybody today. Would you like to share what it is and how they can access it?
Absolutely. Yes. So everyone can get it. It's at what'smychart.com. We'll put the link in the show notes. So you want to put the HTTPS:// before it, because anyway, because sometimes it doesn't otherwise go through. But what that will do is a landing page that will take you to straight to putting your information in. You'll need your date of birth, your time of birth, and city of birth. Now, why do you need that information? I call it your address in the universe. So if you think about, most of us have a phone of some sort. We want to go to a new place, we punch in the address, and our GPS takes us there, right? Well, it's because every place that we want to put in, it has coordinates. Well, similarly, we have coordinates. Like, we are energetic beings on this earth, and we have coordinates, and they're made up of your date of birth, time of birth, and city of birth. So if you don't know what it is, you can check your birth certificate. You can ask a family member. You can take a guess, and there's ways that I can work with you in more detail. We'd run a chart every 2 hours, and I'd ask you clarifying questions. There's a couple other ways we could do it. But anyway, for most people, that will cover it. So you'll just need that information. It'll take you less than a minute to put that information in. And what you'll get is a 4-page purpose report. This report you'll have to download it. You'll open it up. It'll go on your screen on either your phone or computer, and you'll have to click the download now button, and it will open. And what that report does is it saves you a ton of time. See, I've been studying this for 9 years, and there's a lot of rabbit trails you can go down with this system. It's so interesting. And you can really focus on things that are not going to help you in the short, immediately. So what I've put in the report are the 4 most important things that I think are the most useful, immediately relevant, and you will know what your professional type is. You'll know how you're meant to make decisions. You'll know what your key signs are, and you'll know your profile, which is the way that you show up in the world. So if you're in a job change or career change, or this will give you some very powerful and fairly simple insights that you'll be like, oh my gosh. So the point of that is for you to see that resonates as truth, and then you can dig deeper if you want. But there's plenty of information right there. I even put in there a practice for how you can create your ideal life using that information. So it's a very valuable report. It's free, and you can get it at whatsmychart.com.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, Grace, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Folks, I think I'm going to be downloading that report. So remember to grab Grace's gift to help you create your design for you and understand your purpose. Grace, thank you. This has been a true delight. And I'm sure your comments and wisdom are going to resonate with a lot of people that are going to be watching this. The link, whatsmychart.com, I'll put that below this video. And if you're ready to step into your power and confidently sell your services, if you're a professional, without feeling salesy or icky or ugh, make sure you reserve your spot at my next free workshop called Finding Freedom, which runs the first Tuesday of every month. And I'll put the link for you to save your seat there below this video as well. Thank you so much once again, Grace. And as we close, I'd like to ask, if I may, one final question. And it's a little bit of a fun question, a little bit tongue-in-cheek. If you were an animal, what animal would it be and why?
It's hard. My first impulse was to say a deer. I've always had an association with deer. I like that they're fast on their feet. I like that they're graceful. And, my name is Grace, so people have called me Graceful Grace, although I don't feel like I'm as graceful as I would like to be. But the other animal that comes to mind is an eagle. And I like eagles because they give a high perspective. I like the big picture perspective. And actually, there's something in your human design which tells you about what the ideal environment that you would prefer. And so mine is mountains. And so eagle fits with mountains because it's a perspective. It's a high perspective, and that benefits me. So that's what I would say, either deer or eagles.
Beautiful. I love that. And when you said eagle, I had this image of this crystal clear sky with this snow-capped mountaintop and you just soaring around, which is a beautiful image to leave everybody with today. Grace, this has been awesome. Thank you. And everybody, remember, download Grace's gift. The link will be below the video. Thanks again, Grace.
Thank you, Carrie.